Hey guys, here we are finishing up our book, Riding Freedom. I can't believe that it's already over. But we are going to finish out just a couple minute video of the last chapter titled In the End. So there are only two questions in your Google Classroom, your slideshow that go along with this chapter. And they ask, let's see, the first one says, what names does Charlotte give to the newborn colts? And number two says, what meaning does each name have? So if you remember in the very beginning of the story when she was a young girl and she was in the orphanage and Vern was talking to her about the horses, and Charlotte asked Vern how he names each horse because each horse's name had a meaning. And we grew attached to Freedom, which she wrote at the very beginning of the book. So let's see. Let's finish up together. I'm a little sad about it, but hey, I didn't cry this time, so here we go. In the end. Ebenezer arrived in the spring just before the foal. So it's talking about the baby horse. He surveyed the property and grumbled about all the things that should be done. The pasture fence needs mending, and the chickens need a new coop. Margaret needed help selling eggs in town. Charlotte was tickled because she figured all his belly aching meant that he had come to stay. And the fowl? It came in the middle of the night, in the middle of a thunderstorm. It gave Charlotte fits and worries because it was Breech, trying to come out the wrong way. So that's when the baby's coming out the wrong way. She coaxed as best as she knew, but when she was afraid that they would both be lost, she woke up Ebenezer. The two sat up all night, soothing the mother horse who was frightened by the thunder as she was by the birthing. While Ebenezer tried to deliver the fowl, Charlotte paced like an expectant father. Her mind was on the night she sat up with Freedom, and she was remembering Vern. If he were here, she'd be telling her to settle down, that Ebenezer knew what he was doing. Vern had been right about so many things. But Charlotte needn't have worried. By the time the rooster crowed, a wet, fouled-up bundle of legs was delivered, a filly. That's, I guess, what a baby horse is called. A brand new baby horse. The baby horse barely stood on her wobbly legs when Ebenezer said, "There's another one coming! Twins!" And in a few frantic minutes, a colt stood next to his sister. "What are you going to name them?" thought Ebenezer. Oh, I'm just making a reference here, or an inference here. I'm guessing that a filly means a girl horse and a colt is a boy horse, but I'll have to look up that information when we get done. I'm not sure. Just making a guess. "What are you going to name them?" asked Ebenezer. "You should call them Worry and Trouble for the night that they gave us." And then he laughed. But Charlotte got quiet and serious. "Naming something's important," she said, "and a name should stand for something. A horse's name should be fitting for a fine animal." She watched the foals and didn't say anything. The mare licked the colt and the filly started nursing. And after she'd considered them for some time, Charlotte crossed her arms and nodded her head with a knowing smile. It had come to her. "Well, you gonna keep it to yourself?" asked Ebenezer. Charlotte was right proud to explain her reasoning behind it all. And when she was finished, Ebenezer had to agree. They were fine names, important names that stood for something, that were fitting for fine animals. She named the colt Vern's Thunder, and she named the filly Freedom. And that's the end of the book, y'all. There is a little note from the author in here. If you're interested in me reading that, let me know. It's just saying that this fictional story is based off of a true story of Charlotte Parkhurst, based in 1812. So it's pretty neat that this story was a fictional story, but it was based off of a whole lot of real events and someone who actually went through and experienced the things that Charlotte experienced. So I can't even imagine being in her place. So go take a look at your questions for the day. Get all of your slideshow caught up so Miss Brown and I can award dojo points to you guys for completing your work. And then make sure after you've answered all the questions that you go ahead and go take your AR test. And I will drop the link on the last slide. I've also added it to your doc for Wednesday. So we'll chat soon, y'all. I hope you enjoyed the book. I really enjoyed my time reading it to you. Have a great day, guys.